Kahumoku.
Hello, welcome to Kakuloa, our farmer over here. And we're actually, making bags and stuff to feed the homeless today. And we're picking papayas, and we're also doing a thing with the Rotary. We're going to plant 10,000 trees. So we're doing a tree planting and I wanted to not only plant trees, I wanted to plant fruit trees. So we're planting lilikoi trees, we're planting papaya, we're planting fruit trees with guava, we're planting mountain apple trees and coconuts and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing this morning. We got the Rotary up over here doing that too. I don't know if you want me to take pictures of them planting. You want me to show you that?
Yeah, because the Peace Project and I found out that the Rotary work with the peace projects all around the world, that they're very dedicated to peace.
Oh yeah, and they help with inoculation for polio. They happen to get polio inoculated, and then I think they're going to work on the coronavirus as well.
That's wonderful. Well, before we see them and talk to them, I just wanted, since we're talking about peace,
Okay.
I wanted to, you are a very wonderful, wise man. I know you in so many ways. Of course, we've worked on some music together. You've done so many CDs. You've gotten
Thank you.
4 or 5 Grammys. I lose track. How many Grammys have you gotten, George?
I've been to the Grammys 7 times, and I brought home 5 for Best Hawaiian Music. So I've been really blessed that way. Yes.
And so many Nahoku Hano awards, and they're
I've been nominated over 50 times. I think we had 30 or 40 of those as well.
So what you really loved, people know, of course, your musical side, and you've traveled around the world and you share beautiful stories. You're a storyteller. You are a storyteller, and you're a priest of the land as well.
Yes.
And you carry that energy through the work on your ranch there in Kahakaloa, right?
Yes, we do. And not only here, I actually mentored so many students. So some of my students live in Russia, Amsterdam, Luxembourg, probably 55 countries throughout the world, as well as Japan, Hokkaido, and also probably all 50 states. So I have students that have come to my farm and visited me and taken the technology. We trade seeds all the time. I got purple asparagus all the way from Maine.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that.
Farm, right? And we got blackberries on our farm too. They came from Pennsylvania. And we also have lots of, like for instance, I love tomatoes. So I got a lot of tomatoes from New York. We got sweet potatoes from New Jersey, stuff like that as well.
So let's talk a little bit about peace and aloha. But let's start with peace, since this is the Peace Projects. And I think a lot of people, I've talked to so many fascinating people, and it's interesting on everyone's different understanding of peace. I know it seems to me that you find a great deal of peace through working on the land and feeding people. What's your connection with peace in the land?
Well, the thing is, for me, peace comes from inside first. And in order to gain that peace, you got to be at one with yourself, and satisfied with yourself and your desires and all like that. So the thing that gives me the most peace of all is meditating. And how do I meditate? Pulling weeds. So when I pull weeds, I'm actually meditating, and I'm actually making that. And also when I'm watering my plants, I'm actually sending the energy or the mana, the spiritual energy from the sky to the water hose, to my hand, right into the plants. So I'm sending mana or spiritual energy from the sun, from the moon. And I do this, we plant by the Hawaiian moon calendar as well. So my whole schedule of my life, really, since I was born, I think has been based on the Hawaiian moon calendar. Like today is La'au Kukai, which is a good day to gather herbs, and a good day to plant herbs that help to heal people. In fact, we have one herb on our farm. It's called Niuri, and the Tongans call it the plant of life because it actually helps to cure inner. It's called the stone breaker. If you have kidney stones, it'll break your kidney stones. It'll help. It helps with liver, anything internal, kidneys, heart. Even I've heard it's helped with cancer, but I don't want to make the claim. I was cured by cancer, but through another plant called Kanoa. So, so really, peace starts from inside, and it's inner peace what gives you inner peace. Another thing that what defines you. So your actions, when you come to a crossroad, every time you make a choice in your life, if you choose aloha or if you choose what we call maluhia or peace, then that'll be your life, And I come from a very violent family. We were warriors, we helped to unite the islands to Kamehameha. My great grandfather was Heva Heva. He was the high priest to King Kamehameha the Great. And he even wasn't the strongest priest. The strongest priest came from Molokai. His name was Lani Kaula. And I even have Lani Kaula tea leaves that came from the Heiau over there. So it's even for me, I even had to take classes in anger management, to gain that inner peace. And what I found out through anger management is that you have to have like I've got into trouble by not being peaceful. When I was 27, I got shot with a .357 Magnum in a bar fight, for instance, and I wasn't very peaceful at all.
I've never heard that story before.
I know. So, I don't know if you should tell you, but once you know the opposite of what peace is, then you know what to head for. Is what I say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know what violence is. Yeah, I grew up with a very violent family. I watched my uncle stab my auntie 27 times, in front of me when I was only like 7 years old. No. So I know the opposite of what peace. Yeah. So that's why I try to head for peace all the time if I given the choice. So anytime you come to a fork in the road and you choose peace or you choose aloha, the word alo means full of, and ha is breath. If you choose the point where you feel use your ha, your breath, for something that's peaceful, then you feel at one with yourself. Now, when you feel that's the gurgling in your stomach or in your ow, you cannot sleep, you get ulcers on eyes, it's because you're not at peace with yourself, And I've had that as well,
So weeds. Let's talk about the weeds we have to pull inside compared to the weeds you find peace with pulling on your many pieces of land that you take care of there. You grew up in a violent, and I never knew this. I've known you for years, Uncle George, and I've never known you grew up in such a violent situation. When you had to realize what happened when you were 7 years old and saw that stabbing, then you probably had to go back in and pull those weeds. How do you address and pull those weeds and what you went through as a child when you saw that?
Well, the thing is, not only did I saw the stabbing, I had to clean up the mess, me and my cousins. I mentioned 7-0, wiping up all the blood and all that stuff. So it's like, I think I have PTSD from all that stuff that I grew up as a child. Yeah. So what happens is that, I think I grew up with 26 cousins, so we all retreated into this inner world, just to protect ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually haven't talked about any of this stuff until now, really, with anyone. And I go to counseling once a week. I've been doing it for years, just so that I can, how to deal with some of the stuff that I've gone through my whole life. I've gone to AA. I've gone to Al-Anon. Trying to seek wisdom and peace like that. This. I know what the opposite of peace is because I've seen so much violence in our family. So I just try to hit in the opposite direction of that, Yeah.
Well,
So the thing is, what you got to do inside is we all have choices to make. And every time you come to that fork in the road, you have a choice. If you choose peace and you choose aloha, then that'll be who you are, So we are who we choose. So as life went on, I started choosing aloha, and I started choosing peace that way, and not going the violent way, because I could go both ways, And I was trained in the martial arts just like my brothers and my cousins, and I know what violence is, and I know what that is, and I try to keep myself as peaceful as I can, so I don't have to become violent, But I know I can be violent if I have to. So it's like I'm keeping a lid on this part of me. And the other thing that helps me a lot, by plucking all these weeds inside of your heart and inside of your being, is music. When I play music, I go into what I call the zone, And then once you reach a zone in meditation, it's like, my whole body is like filled with light, But, I also studied how to, I came from a family of kahunas. And one of the things they do, when we go and heal people, you got to watch, because sometimes their spirit or the evil spirits will jump on you. So to protect yourself, I'll teach you the secret is that the strongest power that you have in your whole being is your your breath. So the word aloha, So let's say I'm going into a blessing, I'm going into a situation that I don't know. So what I do is I actually blow my and I bathe. This is a secret. Blow your whole on your whole body and bathe with your breath, and then that breath is like the breath of God. It's spreading the light all over your whole body. Then I can enter a chamber. I can play music in front of 100,000 people. And what I'm doing too is I'm actually calling on my genealogy, my ancestors, my whole DNA to come with me, be part of that breath, be part of that spirit. So when I get on a stage with 100,000 people, it's no big deal. I played at the Edmonton festival. There's like 300,000 people on the side of the hill. But when I breathe myself in my breath, and then so I'm playing music. It's not only me playing. It's my great grandfather next to me, my father, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins. They're all there, even though I'm up on the stage playing solo. So it comes to me. So we can all conjure up our DNA by blowing our breath, on top of our whole body. So this is a secret. I didn't even think about it until you started talking about this right now. But these are techniques I learned. So then when you go into situation, there's been times that I didn't do that. And, I was studying under this Uncle Kahuna. His name is Uncle Sam Hart. And he was praying in Kona. I was in Honolulu. And the uhane jumped on him, the bad spirits. And he couldn't hold it. So he sent it. I was his alakai. So he sent it to me and my other friend. Both of my other friend and I almost died. We was all at our deathbed. And it was my dad who, he also holds the priesthood, who jumped in and he cut everything. He cut all my ties with that old man, and he saved my life. And he tied the ties to the old man from my cousin, Kaipo Diger, and we both able to live and survive after that. But you got to be careful when you're dealing with the spirit world as well,
Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely
right.
true. And I had gone through violence and I had blocked it out. I had been molested as a young, 7 or 8, by a man who I babysat his child. I blocked it out for years. I couldn't handle it, and I didn't realize it was affecting me, but it was. That's why when I got married, I got in a violent relationship with someone who abused me and beat me up, but I didn't realize it was a chain effect. Those things we hide, and we have to go deep inside ourselves. And I guess that's where Ho'onoponopono comes from, for the forgiveness, because until we're strong enough to realize what we went through and forgive that person who did such damage and hurt, but then also forgive ourselves for the chain effect of what we went through, things that were done because of what happened. It goes very deep. So I've known you for years and I'd never heard your story. And I've seen how music heals you and other people, but also I didn't realize you had to go through counseling and do all this. So, I mean, that shows that you're doing your work, and how successful you've been through your music, and now dedicating yourself and your life to feeding the homeless and helping others.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. And the other thing is, it's true. I studied Ho'oponopono with Tutukavena Pukui. She wrote a book called Nana Hikume. I was trained by her alakais as well. And Tutu Kavena was my great grandmother, Tutu Emily Ho'opali's first cousin. So it was like envy. But and the way we learned is that you have to get all the parties together. It's a big thing. You got to forgive each other and all that. But there's this guy, Haleakala'i. He actually took care of the old Kaneohe hospital. He was an administrator there. And he did Ho'oponopono a different way. He just would start. He would pick up the records and he'd start to ask. The 4 steps of Ho'oponopono is based number 1 on love, aloha, then forgiveness. Then the other one is asking, being sorry for what happened, and the fourth one was being grateful. Counting your blessings, kind of a thing. So he shortened the whole thing up, and then where you could actually do it with the person not being there. You see what I mean? Let's say you had somebody who died already. How are you going to Ho'oponopono with them? The Sawas thought everybody had to be in the same room, all this stuff. But Haleakala'i said that and what he would do is he went through 10,000 files of all the inmates at Kaneohe Hospital. It's like what we call pupuli house. All of the guys who were locked up because of mental illness, and he would just looking at the records, just say, "I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry for all the things that happened in your life." And he asked for release, and then he said, "Thank you for coming alive and for being you." And then magically, those people were all healed one by one. So he emptied out the whole Kaneohe Hospital with over 10,000 patients.
Wow.
So I've been, and he trained a lot of us. In fact, Tutukven trained us, and Morna Sirmi, and these people who did Ho'oponopono back in the 50s, 40s, and 30s also passed it on. So I got some students right now who live in Apili from Russia. They're heard about Ho'oponopono since they were young kids. Can you believe that? And the thing, so it's like this genealogy of Ho'oponopono reach even Russia. And these guys practice Ho'oponopono. My 2 friends, and they're at Napili market selling. They even have Ho'oponopono bread. And they're Russian. They're not even Hawaiian, but they understand the concept. You don't have to be Hawaiian to ask for forgiveness and to be sorry, and to spread aloha, and also to be thankful for what you have. So those are the 4 steps of Ho'oponopono. And on my farm over here, I have a lauhala tree, and that's the first tree I planted over here. It's a tree of forgiveness. So I get up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. I go under the tree and I meditate. I just put on my raincoat, whatever it's rain or shine. And I also walk my dogs at the same time. And I meditate and ask for forgiveness and let go of everything that happened yesterday. And today's a whole new day. We start all over again. So I've been doing this for years, yeah.
I know that I get up early in the morning, 3 or 4, and I know you're always up early, and there's a magic and a power in the morning to do that, communing with your inner self and your soul. And it's so beautiful that you have a forgiveness tree you can go under. And that tree, I'm sure, knows you. The tree is alive with energy, and that tree almost probably expects you to come at a certain time and sit there. And so you can commune with the tree as well, right?
Yeah, and the other thing too, when I'm watering the plants or whatever, I'm actually passing my mana from myself to each of the plants, to the watering and giving it nourishment, nutriment. But these are any trees. These are trees of aloha, because I'm passing the aloha spirit to all my trees. So when we eat the food, even the animals that I raise, I know you don't eat any meat, but even the animals I raise, sheep, goats, cattle, pigs, ducks, and chickens. And I have a lot of feral animals on our property as well. And next door, chickens and pigs and goats and all that. But even those, when we do, harvest them, I harvest them with aloha, so that the meat that we eat is actually, food of aloha.
Well, you're really sustainable. You're pretty sustainable right there on your place.
Well, we still gotta go Costco for stuff like toilet paper.
Do you want?
We got the old style leaf, but the leaf kind of on the slidey side. You know what I mean?
We have a few minutes. Do you want to walk around and we could see with your phone? Is it possible to see a little where you live out there and your place?
Yeah, let me put on my slippers over here, shoes, and I'll show you. We got 3,000 varieties of fruits and vegetables over here, and let me show you. And plants. I'm going to show you this is a sacred tea leaf that came from the Lanika. This is the strongest heiau in Hawaii. It came from Molokai.
Oh.
I'm going to show you that. It's called the Lanika heiau. Tea leaf. You see this one right here? Here, let me show you. Can you see it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's variegated, and you see the flowers on the top and stuff like that. this came from Lanikaula, Heiau, on the island of Molokai. Now, Hawaiians believe that there's several versions, but my great grandmother told me that the first wave that came over to Hawaii were Tibetan monks. They were actually Chinese Tibetan monks. That's why they had and they call them minihunis because they're small, but they also had the helmets
Yeah.
and the red and white capes. Those are and they still would do this today. So they landed in Molokai, and they had a whole culture going for almost 1,000 years. Then the next wave came with the warriors. Those are the Tahitians and the Samoans and those guys and to Hawaii. And they tried to conquer Molokai, but those guys ordered them off. Now I'm walking. This is the neem tree right here.
Wow.
Neem's what we put in our fertilizer. All of our fertilizer, we put it as a free plant. So what it does is it actually you can take the branches like this, and in India they use the branches to brush your teeth because it's like an antibiotic thing kind of a thing. Now we got coconuts over here as well. I have about 9 varieties of coconut, and we're going to go to the tree of forgiveness right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's a huge tree.
Yeah.
I planted this 20 years ago. Yeah, and what makes this tree unique is that the tree has red fruit. It doesn't have the regular
Oh,
yellow.
I see it. Yeah, we're losing starting because
Right now it's coconuts over here. Now, right, this is a Angelo tree, about 45 varieties of
hear you, but somehow it's cutting out. So I'm going to say aloha to you right now, and thank you so much. And
okay.
back to the Rotary Club and do your work. And I just want to say aloha and much love to you. You know, you're such a wonderful teacher, and I'm so glad you shared your heart and soul with us today for the prospering of peace in your life and throughout the world. It's so beautiful. I send you love and aloha until we meet again. Have a beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful day.